My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my ranking of the Paddington movies from worst to best. And now that we've got three Paddington movies, I think it's time to talk about this franchise as one of the best franchises ever. And yes, I am being serious. I love these movies. They're so charming and funny and entertaining. The characters are fantastic and they're so well made as well. Like, obviously, I love a couple of these movies more than another one, but this is still a terrific trilogy of movies. So let's begin by talking about the worst one, and it's Paddington in Peru. So let's just address the elephant in the room. I do miss Sally Hawkins as Mrs. Brown, and I did miss Paul King's direction. But that said, Emily Mortimer still did a perfectly fine job, and I thought Dougal Wilson did a very strong job directing this movie. It's not quite as stylistic as the other two, but definitely a promising start. And I just thought this movie was entertaining from start to finish. It is so much fun and it's legitimately hilarious. I laughed out loud plenty of times, and the plot has a nice adventurous feel to it, but I really liked where it goes in the final 10 minutes. Like, they're searching for El Dorado, and the big reveal at the end, it just felt so Paddington in the best possible way. And at the end of the movie, I did get choked up. I just care about these characters so much, and there's just a level of sincerity here that really allows the emotions to hit. I thought Antonio Banderas and Olivia Colman were great new additions to this franchise. They're very entertaining and they fit right in. And I love the watercolor style this movie has in a couple of moments. Just looked very neat visually. So I had a great time with this movie. It's just not as good as the other two, but it is still great. It is definitely still worth watching, and I will buy this movie and watch it plenty of times in the future. The second best Paddington movie is the very first one, and I remember back in 2015, I went into this movie with very low expectations, and I was blown away by how good this movie was. Like, it's not just a fine, decent movie, it's not just a good watch, it is legitimately perfect in every single aspect. The direction by Paul King is so unbelievably strong, and it does have a true vision behind it. The movie was so funny, and it's charming, and it's sincere, and I love all these characters. Ben Whishaw as Paddington Bear is just perfect casting. If I'm not mistaken, I actually believe it was meant to be Colin Firth, but Ben Whishaw is Paddington. He just personifies that character so perfectly. Hugh Bonneville is fantastic. Sally Hawkins does a really great job. Julie Walters is really hilarious as well. And I thought Nicole Kidman was great as the villain here. The movie is just a perfect introduction to these characters, to this story, and there's some nice emotion there as well. Just a perfect start. And I love the end credit song, Shine, by Gwen Stefani and Pharrell Williams. I would love to get it on Apple Music, but for some reason, I can't. Please fix that, Apple. So, yes, the original is my second favorite. But my favorite is, of course, Paddington 2. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that this is one of the best movies ever made. Like, Ben Whishaw, Hugh Bonneville, Sally Hawkins, the kid actors, Julia Roberts continue to give great performances, but Hugh Grant gives the best performance of his career here. He is so funny and charming and likable and menacing, and he is just perfect. And that dance number in the mid-credit scene is just comedy gold. But I also thought Brandon Gleeson did a really terrific job as well. Knuckles could have been a forgettable character, but Brandon really allows him to stand out. So the entire cast is just firing on all cylinders, but so is Paul King. This movie is just so exquisitely crafted. Just every detail is perfectly brought to life. There is so much thought that went into this movie, and it shows each and every second. Like the scene where they're escaping the prison, it could have just been a typical prison break, but there's a really cool stylistic touch to it. And the train finale at the end of this movie is just pitch perfect and tense and exciting and just so good. So, yeah, oh, and the amount of setup and payoff in this movie is just on a whole other level. Like, everything introduced gets brought back in one way or another, and it is such a satisfying watch. But the ending of this movie, where Aunt Lucy comes to London, it's one of those moments where I'm just crying because of how feel good it is, and that doesn't happen often. It is just such a feel good note, and the movie is so charming. The entire Paddington getting framed plot is just fantastic, and yeah, I just really love this movie. Oh, and the music here is fantastic, and I love the pop-up book scene early on where Paddington and Aunt Lucy are going from one landmark to another. Just so good. I would die for Paddington Bear. I just love this character so much, but this franchise is something really special. These three movies are just terrific, and I love them, and I can't wait for Paddington 4. But what's your ranking of the Paddington franchise? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin out.